one of the best beatings ever. Were you there for the Bill Burr beating when he took the greatest beating?
Not only was I there, Bill tried to fight it off for so long, trying to fight back, and eventually he just sat there, and everybody just kept doing. I remember I told Bill he was eating chicken as if he just beat cancer. He was taking the smallest sickly bites. I said, Bill, will you eat the fucking piece of chicken? It literally took Bill 3 minutes to eat a buffalo wing.
We found out who ratted him out.
I think it was it wasn't Patrice. It
was Keith, myself, Kevin, Patrice, and we found
somebody told on him.
It was the Yankees Diamondbacks World Series 2001, I think. Ooh. And we found out Bill got a gig performing comedy on a bus that was taking people to the game.
No fucking way.
He was doing
no
a road.
fucking way.
He was a bus comic.
And Bill was getting the pain he was getting was that he got to go to the game. And I don't remember who teased him or who first mentioned it, but it's one of the...
Was it Bobby? Did Bobby tell us?
I don't remember who
Somebody told us, but when I say we beat the shit out of Bill verbally...
It was one of the greatest all-time beatings ever given to a comedian.
It would have to be with that situation.
It got to the point where Bill had nothing to do but attack other people's careers. What are you doing, Kevin? What job? What gig are you getting? Yeah, shut up, stupid. Why don't you go get on the MTA and tell some jokes?
You remember some of the lines?
No, but I know we made fun of him. Is it weird performing when you're not going backwards?
That should be a DVD, man.
The comedians, of course, everyone did the fucking walking down the steps performing joke and fucking.
Did they make you stop your jokes when they got to announce the bus stop? Hold on, Bill, for a second. Just wait 1 second.
Do you know you're bombing and people are like pushing the button over? It was fucking. Dude, it was literally a 45-minute assault. And Bill just got mad at one point. Hey, at least my parents don't drink. It was like that type of.
It got ugly. How long was your set? 10 stops?
Oh, dude, it was a great.
That was really brutal.
That is brutal.
I've witnessed some good ones. I remember I brought a girl in one time. She was actually good looking, not a bad looking girl, man. But she had this hat on. She had a hat.
That's all it takes.
This hat, like I'm telling you, like her body was nice. She had a nice ass. It was cute in the face. She had a hat, and they was like, "What are you doing with a Russian spy?" Everybody kept sneaking around like as if they were. They kept doing like spy-like shit.
Just creeping around.
It's like all you can do, like, dude, she's a good. And I'm bringing her in it, sweetie. Look, take your hat off for a second. Show her. She's like, wow, what's wrong? And like she's doing stuff to amp it up. She's like putting the hat backwards and like, oh Jesus. Like, it's no beating it, man. I can honestly say the best times of my life were probably at the Comedy Cellar. I remember my birthday. Keith got me drunk. You know, I was 21. I just turned 22. It was my birthday. But, you know, there I never drank there. Even though we did, it wasn't really a thing to do. Like, we didn't sit around and get drunk. Like,
who started that? Patrice, who started that Bill Burr beating? Who started that Bill Burr bus beating?
Oh, you know what it was? I'll tell you what it is. Jim Norton is really you got to be careful because another thing, Kevin's like this too, and I think it's that Napoleon complex thing. And it's a really Kev, this jerk-off story started one day. We used to go downstairs back in the day at the Cellar when guys would be performing, okay?
Oh, right.
And we would sit there and all sit in the front row and stare at
get the fuck out.
Oh, yeah. We did it to Kevin a few times, yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
Jesus.
This was the test. I mean, we were brutal. We used to have hat court. We would put up somebody's act on court.
They did it to me.
That bit you do sucks.
Hack court. I love it. Hack court.
Really.
You put a bit on trial.
Dude, they would do it all the time.
Fantastic.
I had a joke.
So we went downstairs and sat in front of him and he was flustered. We was getting him. And he just caught me jerking off in his house. This how you know he fucking started imitating jerking off at his house.
Damn sure did. I pushed the button. I didn't have nothing else left.
He started cutting out of that like it was nasty how it hurt me. He had to do what he had to do because he fucking had to get out that situation by any means necessary. Now here's this fucker Jim. Bill was talking about something and Jim Bill said something to Jim, and Jim didn't like what Bill said to him. Like he said it was going to be embarrassing, and Jim was going to get a fucking beating for what happened, and I forgot what it was. But Jim goes in front of me, Kev, Keith, and I think it was another guy.
Bob Kelly.
Bobby was there for the bus beating.
It was Kelly, but it was me and Lil Kev that was giving the beating with the but Norton goes, at least I'm not performing on a bus.
That's right. No,
I did not remember that.
No, that's right. Patrice, you're 100% right, because Bill was going at it with you, Jim, and he hit you with something. He hit you good, and we were about to attack you. You're right, Patrice. We were about to jump on your ass.
Jimmy had an atomic bomb
and Jim had it in his back pocket.
I did not remember that.
Threw a neutron bomb. Everybody said,
What? I remember that. We said, what?
Great deflection.
To this day, there was 4 beatings of all time, and I'm telling you, Norton was a part of two of my biggest laughs in my life. But this bus beating,
bus beating is legendary.
Of Kev, because what happened is you feed Kev the important lines, and he would just make it he would take it to the next level. And what the whole thing was for an hour was, well, what happens if you start bombing? And then where do you come from and where do you go when you finish?
We said, where did they? We said,
oh, you just sit down.
From? We said, where did they bring you up from? We said, Bill was behind the bus driver, Bill Burr. And he just takes a step out. Hey. He was just sitting in the front seat. Like, there's no way for him not to know that he was the comic. Like, we was like, how do you sneak on stage, Bill? What's he saying?
Oh my God.
And they said if he started bombing, what he would do is go, after one joke bombs, he just look out the window and go, if you look to your left.
Oh, shit.
It was an all-timer, but, oh, man, good reminiscent days.
And then was it over
like the public address system?
Oh, dude.
Like, hey, how about that? I went to the container store with my girlfriend.
Let me tell you, when
But that fucking Norton, you don't remember, Norton just said, at least I'm not doing.
Jimmy knew his life was being threatened.
I swear to God, Patrice is not lying. He's not lying. Jim, you did.
On a bus for World Series tickets, and
I didn't remember that. I certainly believe it.
Oof.
yeah, no, wait a minute. But Bill looked at you.
Like, how could you do that? Like, how could you do that?
Why?
Out of all things to do,
couple questions. I keep getting questions about, on the Opie and Anthony show, Patrice O'Neal and Kevin Hart talked about this trashing that I took, and it was a long fucking time ago. I haven't listened to the audio yet. Just look it up on YouTube. I'm sure they have the audio up. Without even listening to the audio, whatever they said is more than truth. It was an epic 50 fucking minute trashing that I took. What the fuck was the story? Esty at the Comedy Cellar. All right, where do I start this? The Yankees were playing the Braves in the fucking World Series, and I guess there was these groups of people from Atlanta wanted to. We're going to take. That's right. They were taking 2 buses to Yankee Stadium to go to the game, and they wanted a comedian to perform on the bus on the way to the stadium. All right, which obviously is the most nightmare gig ever. They were going to pay you like $500 and give you a World Series ticket. All right. So the gig was offered to me. Like Esty was like, "Who's the 2 biggest sports fans I know down here?" So she offered, and actually don't have enough money in the bank where they'll actually consider doing this. So she approached me and Jim Norton about the gig. So me and Norton are just talking about it, going, dude, this is going to be the worst fucking gig ever, but you get to go to the World Series, and we were both thinking about it. So the next day, over 24 hours, Norton finally just goes, fuck that, I'm not doing it. So I was going to do it. I was like, fuck it. I mean, it's not going to be that bad a gig. That's the thing about it. It wouldn't have been that bad a gig. I basically was going to get paid to go to a World Series game and to get paid to do what the fuck I was going to do anyways, which is trash the Yankees all the way up to Yankee Stadium. That's the only part about the story that's bullshit, is them talking about what a horrific gig it would have been. It would have been a fucking cakewalk compared to those college gigs I did where they didn't have a fucking microphone and they stand you in a hallway. It would be a bunch of drunk fans excited to see their team that didn't have a shot in fucking hell of beating the Yankees. And all I was going to do was tell them what a fag Jeter was for fucking 30 minutes. A half-hour fucking set would have been a joke. All I would have to do is trash the Yankees the whole fucking way up. I get $500 and I get a World Series ticket. And the second I get off, I can screw. I can leave those guys. I get to go to a World Series game at fucking Yankee Stadium. So I'm like, I'm going to fucking do it, right? So I didn't know that Jim had said that he wasn't going to do it. So we're sitting down there at the table, down at the cellar, and it's starting up. Everybody's giving each other shit. So I start giving Norton shit about whatever, about his chinless face, his little ears, or whatever fucking awful hooded sweatshirt that he was wearing. And then I got him with a couple of jabs, and he felt the overhand right coming, and he needed to stop it. And he just goes, whatever, bus boy. And it was like E.F. Hutton. Everybody fucking stopped and went, what? Why did you just call him busboy? And I immediately was like, he's going to do it too. And somehow Jim got out of it and he literally threw me under the bus. And then they found out I was doing the gig. And it just so happened that night that all the fucking, the big boys were there. It was Patrice, Norton was there, Kevin Hart, Rich Voss, Keith Robinson. Right fucking there. The Tyson, Holyfield, George Foreman, all of that. And I'm standing there like fucking Tex Cobb. And I took a headlining set, killing, standing ovation set of shit for doing that gig. And I was still going to do it. I was still going to do it even after the fucking trashing. Because I'm thinking, I'm going to the fucking World Series. I don't give a shit. You know? And Patrice was trashing me. And I didn't give a fuck what he said. His advice I never would have listened to. Because Patrice was one of the biggest pussies when it came to performing hell gigs. Like when we used to do colleges, this guy used to book us on colleges, and it would be me, him, and Robert Kelly, or me, him, and Norton, or whatever. And this dude never wanted to go on first, because first sucks because you got to warm up the crowd. And he never wanted to go on last because you had to follow the other two acts. He always wanted to go on second. And then he'd go on second, and he would go over his fucking time like the selfish cunt that he is. And so I was just thinking, this guy retires from comedy every 2 weeks when he sees a hack kill on stage. I don't give a fuck what he thinks, but it wasn't until the end when he actually looked at me when the trashing was over, and he said, Bill, he goes, I will stand in front of that bus. Don't do that gig. I'll buy you a ticket to the World Series. Don't do that. And then I was sitting there going like, wow, this is actually like he's not even joking right now. He's trying to tell me, for the love of God, have a little bit of self-fucking worth. And he shit. That was the thing. After a 50-minute trashing, as embarrassing as that was, nothing was worse than the shame of him telling me that I could actually afford a World Series ticket at that point. I wasn't really even thinking that. So I decided, in that moment, I decided not to do the gig, which I don't think came out on the Opie and Anthony show. They think I did the gig. I never did the gig. And I actually passed it off to another comedian who was further down the ladder than I was. And he didn't even ask me, but I always made a promise that I would never say who did the gig. And I don't know, next time I go on Opie and Anthony, I'll talk to the dude who actually did the gig and see if he wants to call in and talk about the gig. But that's the only – I haven't listened to the audio yet, but whatever jokes that they said, there was some classic ones. I remember Patrice saying, hey, Bill, when they bring you up, are you going to come out of the bathroom or are you going to walk up those little stairs? That, and then also me finishing my set going, hey, thanks a lot. And then I sit down in the bus seat and then look over my shoulder and shake everybody's hands as they go to get off the bus. Was I going to fucking hold the You know, the bus intercom thing, would I do it over that? Yada, yada, all that. And this would kill me. They had jokes for 50 fucking minutes. All that was true, but I never did the gig. I never did the gig. And I still maintain it wouldn't have been that bad of a fucking gig. It wouldn't have been. It would have been a joke. Bill, get on a bus for a half an hour and trash the Yankees. Do you think you can do that? We'll give you $500 and a World Series ticket. Absolutely. I would have been drinking with them. And any time I ran out of shit to talk about the Yankees, you just look out the bus. Hey, look at the tits on that fucking whore. And they'd all go nuts. All I had to do was support the South in the Civil War. There was so many different ways that I could have. That would have been a fucking cakewalk. A fucking cakewalk. And I didn't end up doing it. Which actually was better because the first time I went to a World Series ended up being, I went to Game 2 of 2004. That boring-ass World Series. But it was exciting because we finally won it. So there you go. So that is the story. Yes, they trashed the shit out of me, but I never did the gig. I was shamed out of doing it, and I gave it to another comedian who will remain nameless. Actually, you know what? Here, let me do a little cross-promotion here. I will reveal the name the next time I do the Opie and Anthony show if they still give a fuck. If they still give a shit. If the story has legs, as they say in the business. So there you go. There's that fucking story. All right? And I'll